Thank you for checking out crypto.chartguys.com, the source for technical analysis in the cryptocurrency world. We are proud to announce our own crypto alert system designed to give you the most critical technical trading information possible no matter where you are. Keep your eyes on the market with mobile or email alerts for MACD crosses, RSI levels, and even inside bar alerts for dozens of coins across multiple exchanges. New features and proprietary ChartGuys indicators are already in development. Our alert system is very easy to customize and utilize, so don't hesitate to sign up for the most effective crypto trading tool on the market at crypto.chartguys.com. Hello crypto friends, hope you're doing well. We're checking in on Bitcoin Ethereum Litecoin, and just want to touch on this real quick. Seems like a lot of people don't know that I have a Twitter, but when things are updating and happening, I'm not going to go back to the video, the old recorded video, and leave comments. I update on the Twitter, and it's at ChartGuys. So when the positive G20 news came out yesterday, posted that fairly on, then was talking about the short squeeze on ETH, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But we pointed out a chart where we had a member post this G20 news real early on. So this is the advantage of having, a team of traders and a lot of eyes in one place. But he posted that G20 news right when Bitcoin was still in the 7,500s, and obviously we saw significant follow through. And right after posting this chart on this little consolidation, and then once we saw continuation, that's when I entered ETH. So I'll go over my trade because I did not get a good entry on the bounce, but I got real lucky in terms of the opportunity that this little short squeeze in Coinbase had on GDAX with ETH. So we'll go over that in just a moment, but just wanted to point out, again, thanks to member SQL, but the Twitter, at ChartGuys. Check it out. So looking at Bitcoin, we have Bitcoin on the daily time frame. It made a clear break. So first off, we have our clear support, the low of the dump, and our lower high resistance was 8,600. Because we broke that level, that is notable. But look where we are rejecting. The exponential moving average resistance, the 12 period, is rejecting the price just like it did on the last bounce attempt when we got up to 9,890. So it's a clear resistance level that in order to break it, and because we're forming an upper wick of resistance and profit taking from that level, it's pretty much telling us that this daily chart is going to have to form a higher low and a higher high to see the significant trend change. Now the odds of that happening are still pretty decent, and that is because we broke the lower high. So when you break the lower high on a trend, you then increase the odds pretty significantly to look for a higher low on that time frame, and then the potential of the higher low and higher high, and then we'll see if we get the bull MACD cross and all those signals that go along with it. So this is step number one, breaking the lower highs. Now we need the higher low and higher high, and here it is on the 4-hour time frame, just a little different look. So there was the break of resistance. We can see it was lower highs up until that point. We broke that. So now we're consolidating and looking for a higher low and higher high. We're on the verge of this 4-hour 12 and 26 exponential moving average cross. And historically, when that has happened in the past couple of months, it's given really nice returns over the next few days. So looking back, when's the last time that a cross did not give us some good follow through? And it happened back in January where we got a bull cross and then very quickly lost that support and fell back. So what the bulls really want to see is this support hold, which it is at this point. We're back testing the exponential moving average support and holding it. If we were to fall down through this level right after the cross occurs, that would increase the percent chance that that cross is not going to see the significant follow through. So again, it's all these little details and looking back historically, what is shifting the odds in which direction. So the current consolidation that I'm watching on Bitcoin is on the hourly time frame because we do have some clear hourly higher lows to be watching and some clear lower highs. So we have the top of our bull move after we broke resistance. That's our new resistance at 8,757. And now we're just tightening up. So we have our top of the move, our low of consolidation, which was still an hourly higher low. Now we have a lower high, and we're right in the middle of that range, a little bit favoring the bulls. So the range is 8,205 support and 8,520 resistance. That's what I'm watching on the hourly time frame as we head into tonight. Healthy consolidation at this point. Again, the bulls want to continue to maintain these exponential moving averages. The longer, the better. And once we get that 4-hour cross, we'll see if we can see significant follow through on the daily. So as I pointed out in the weekly in the live stream yesterday, let's get rid of these lines, but I pointed out how we're looking for an equilibrium pattern to form. And where we stand right now, our higher low on the weekly is getting more and more clear because we did break the daily lower highs. So 7,310 is now our must hold weekly higher low. And if the bulls got their way, we would look for a move up to about the upper $9,000 range to potentially set the lower high on this weekly time frame. So now that the momentum has shifted with this news, and again, that G20 news, sorry, I didn't say it right at the beginning, but essentially it was a relief of the bulls with an article saying the summit, the G20 summit with all the bankers from around the country and central banks is going to essentially not look to add any new restrictions on the cryptocurrency space. They're just going to be looked to talk about the existing structure. So it was essentially the bulls breathing a sigh of relief. And what happened is the bulls showed up and the bears started covering at the same time. So we had very significant breakout in response to that news. So we can see back here, again, here was the where it was posted, the article in our chat room down here, actually right around here. And that was at about 135, or see, that was about 435. And here we are seeing the huge follow through, the big bull volume. And it wasn't necessarily a short squeeze. I wouldn't say, it was definitely shorts covering and bulls buying the dip. In terms of a squeeze, it happened on Ethereum on Coinbase. And you might say, well, I thought you cannot short on Coinbase. What do you mean short squeeze? You used to be able to short. You used to have millions of dollars and be either an accredited investor or be behind, a firm or something like that to have access to margin on Coinbase or on GDAX. I remember looking at that and seeing the requirement and saying, okay, the only way I can trade margin is if I lie. And so obviously some people would not fall into that category. So there were some people shorting. In my opinion, still behind the scenes, I bet that GDAX and Coinbase are tailoring to some large institutions or some large whales to allow them margin to be able to short on their platform. And I say this because there's really no other way for me to believe that we saw a $20 extra spike on Ethereum on GDAX compared to any other exchange. And I'm trying to find it right now. But here's this short squeeze. And like I said, I was late for this move. So I posted yesterday that I did think we were going to get another leg down. And we never ended up doing that because this news came out and the bulls shot up. But what it allowed me to do is in 5 minutes, I made 2.4% on my account because I market bought. I realized what was going on. And this is where my stock experience came into play. Because I saw the condition. I know the psychology. We've been in a very bearish market. I know this news has been overhanging as something people are cautious of. This is a sigh of relief. And once I saw Bitcoin go for continuation after the initial breakout, I market bought on ETH with 2 orders with 75% of my account. And then this happened. So I market bought at 824 to 831 essentially. Or excuse me, 524 to 531. So I was market buying right about here, right before the short squeezing started. So proud to say I had a part in helping that get going. This 3 minutes is when I entered. And then 5 minutes later, I was all out of my position. And I was scaling out. Again, look at these spikes. So the price was going $30 or $40 plus dollars and then coming right back down and trading in the 530s and then going back to 575 and then down to the 530s and then 560. So I just stacked my sell orders and I got a bunch out at 555 and 559.80. And I was exiting in that way and moving orders around. I started putting them at 575. And once I saw it wasn't going to get hit, I moved it down and got filled on this candlestick. So essentially, I got saved in terms of having a week maker of a trade or a few day maker of a trade in 5 minutes because I had initially missed that move, but I was able to be agile and react very quickly to the scenario that I saw coming. And again, the short squeeze with the huge volume coming in was telling me people are market buying and panicking to exit their positions. The only other scenario, if there was no shorting, is that a bunch of whales were just experiencing crazy FOMO on Coinbase and GDAX that they weren't seeing on any other exchange, which I just don't feel that that's the way it went down. I think these shorts got trapped, and I think we saw some liquidation occur for these big upper wick spikes for the price to jump $40 in seconds. So, zooming out, Ethereum on the daily time frame now. Where are we? There we go. So we're not following through yet for the bulls. We're going to form a daily inside bar, which will be nice that we can watch tomorrow how that inside bar breaks. But we have our low, the high of the bounce, our higher low, and now we're forming this candlestick. We're still oversold on the daily, so don't lose sight of that. In terms of breaking the daily lower highs, 626 is the level that I have to see, as that was a little bounce attempt that the bears very quickly rejected and started to stay back in control. But that's the first level. Like Bitcoin's already broken its daily lower high. There's no real lower high for Ethereum to break right now because of how much weaker it is. So the 4-hour time frame is struggling at the exponential resistances. Even though we got a bull MACD cross, we can see we're not over this resistance like we are on Bitcoin. And we look at the hourly time frame, and we're in a tightening range. So if I were to draw the range that I was keeping an eye on, it would be essentially that double top. And we could look at our higher low or our lower or our higher low previously, depending on how much space we want. So support is 529 and 516.40, and this little double top of resistance 560.90 and 559.20. So here we are in the middle of this tightening range. We've been trading within this range for quite some time, as Bitcoin already broke bullish from this range, not here on Ethereum. So watching for a break of this tightening range tonight, as that should give us either some follow through or some pullback on the 4-hour. So if we do break bearish on these names, there is still a lot of space that Ethereum and Bitcoin and Litecoin can form 4-hour higher lows compared to the all-out dump where we came from. And I think there are a lot of people that experience a little bit of FOMO with that news and will be waiting to buy a dip if we do get it for that 4-hour higher low. So I think the bulls are pretty comfortable where we stand right now, just in terms of the short term, overnight. Are the bulls going to be able to hold on and see some progress, or are we going to give all this move back? And I think the answer is that the bulls are going to be able to hold on and keep this bounce going, at least keep this bounce attempt going a couple more days. So that's where I stand on Ethereum. Now we're checking in on Litecoin. Litecoin daily chart is not breaking the lower highs like Bitcoin did. So there's our lower high of resistance of 172. So far we've topped out at 164 at this point, and we have the low of the bounce as our key support level. So looking at it on the 4-hour time frame, very clear lower high is still in place. So no trend change right now. Exponential moving averages trying to become support and see a bull cross. Let's look back at Litecoin. How have the bull crosses followed through? And I can see here a lot less reliably. So Bitcoin's crosses the last 2 times have seen some really nice follow through. Litecoin has seen some choppy action. So I definitely make note of that. And that's why looking at the history of individual coins and how they react to certain indicators is important. If Litecoin always bounces off, 4-hour 20 RSI and Bitcoin always bounces off of 4-hour 25 RSI, they're going to mean different things when different names hit certain levels for me when I am, monitoring them and making my analysis onto whether to make entries or not. So that's just a scenario where looking back at Litecoin, it's a little bit of a difference. So we have a 4-hour inside bar forming. This is our second inside bar in a row. We can watch for a break of that next candlestick. The hourly time frame, you could make the argument that this is a potential bearish reversal head and shoulder pattern, but we have a very clear higher low pattern. Those are our higher lows. We've got our resistance level, and this is the potential head and shoulders reversal pattern where we have our left shoulder, the head, and if we were to pull back here and lose the hourly higher lows, again, essentially the head and shoulders pattern is going from higher lows and higher highs to a lower high and a lower low. So the bear signal doesn't occur until we lose the hourly higher lows. So even without looking at that pattern, we can just say, if we lose the hourly higher lows, that will be a bearish indication. But we're still watching this 4-hour inside bar, and that's going to be a good one for Litecoin. Candlestick closes in 1 hour and 17, so the odds of a second inside bar are pretty likely here. So that's where we stand as we head into tonight. I am currently all cash, and I'm waiting for the potential of some consolidation. If we were to see a 4-hour multiple inside bar bull break, I might trade with half a position and make a quick scalp and lock in some profit on that follow through if we get a nice move. But as far as Bitcoin goes, I want to see a little bit of 4-hour consolidation before I would be comfortable entering a position. And it's 2 completely different scenarios. Number one, if you are in a position, you're comfortable as a bull. There's no red flags at this point. If you are looking to enter a position, an entry up here, the risk to reward is much different than any entry earlier this morning or yesterday or late last night. So it's definitely something to be cautious of, just in the sense that we could potentially pull back down towards the low $8,000 range. And if I were going to enter a position, the hourly higher low is the level I would use in my stop, because if the hourly higher lows break, that tells me 4-hour consolidation is coming and it could last a bit longer. So where we stand right now, again, bull's still in full control as long as these hourly higher lows hold. We'll see if that can hold overnight, and we will see if the bulls can make their way up towards 9,000. So I appreciate you tuning in. We'll continue to check back in. Don't forget to check out that Twitter, and I will pick some course winners from the last video right now. So appreciate that as well. Do good things, and good feedback for the potential garlic video, so I will keep that in mind. Did get a little video camera, so don't have to use my cell phone like I did in the GOAT video. So we'll put those out. Can't say when. I have so much on my plate, but sometime, and I appreciate the support.